Welcome, everybody, to Running Strong Mind Body Connection podcast. I'm your host, Karen Bonet-Natraj. So, this podcast was born from my deep belief that true strength just doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from aligning our mind and body in flow, not in fight. So each week, I dive into what it really means to live and lead from the inside out with powerful tools to help you shift from self sabotage to self love, from anxiety to clarity, and from stress to sustainable success. So, the other part is I get to have some amazing guests on my show. You're going to hear from inspiring stories. You're going to hear from some experts, some people that I've come across that have some really practical wisdom. These are going to be runners, these are going to be coaches, these are going to be nutritionists, healers, and everyday warriors. We come from all walks of life, and these people have faced challenges, found resilience, and claimed breakthrough on their own terms. So, whether you're chasing that finish line, recovering from burnout, or simply craving a deeper connection, and that connection comes with our mind and body and lines with our purpose. And this is your space to grow, laugh, heal, and run strong in your life and every day. So if you're ready to rebuild your mental fitness, I'm the person you want to come to. You can go to my website, themindfulathletecoach.com, and check it out. I have a saboteur assessment. Let's find out what's holding you back. So I hope you enjoy these podcasts. Go to my YouTube channel, Running Strong Mind Body Connection. Subscribe to my channel. Comment on a lot of my podcasts. And I am excited today for this wonderful guest that we're going to meet today. And Jennifer is her name. And I look forward to you joining us. So, welcome today. My guest, is Jennifer Tolo. I'm so excited to have her come on my podcast because I think we have a lot in common in many areas. But Jennifer's known as the soul connector. That really resonates with me. But she also used to be a former critical care nurse, and that's just, I think, inspiring. But just her background on that. The other thing she mentioned to me was that she has a signature method, which she calls the ABCs of stress management. So, with my mental fitness stuff that I do, I think we both have common on how we work with our clients and moving them from that stress to being in that peace and calm and having that powerful life, living on purpose. So, Jennifer, welcome to the Running Strong Mind Body Connection podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Karen.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself, young lady.
Sure. Well, I where to start? I was a critical care nurse, like you said. I was always really hard driving type A person, right? Really very success minded, very strong and independent. I was an athlete growing up. Loved sports. I still love sports. And I have always just put a lot of pressure on myself. I would say I'm competitive with myself more than I'm competitive with others. But again, I want to
Right,
do things right. I want to be successful.
right.
So, I went into critical care because I loved kind of the fast pace, the excitement, the adrenaline of it. I loved the really being able to help people that were really sick. And I got a master's in administration because I saw things in healthcare that I didn't love, that I thought, okay, I'm going to fix them by going into management. That no one ever, right? But I was kind
How
of, I
well
knew
did
I
that
wanted,
work?
yeah, right. I knew I wanted to go into, I knew I wanted to get a master's degree, but I wasn't sure, did I want to be a nurse practitioner or did I want to go into kind of more of an administrative role? And I did that for a little while, and then I met and married my husband. We had our first kid, everything was fine. And again, I had this rigid, tight grip of control on how I thought life was supposed to be, how kids were supposed to be, how parenting was supposed to be. I was really tied to the schedule. And now I look back and I see the rigidity of my life, even with
Wow.
sports, even with, with every aspect of my life. And
Yeah.
I was driving myself hard. I was having lots of health issues myself. I was having a lot of sports injuries because when you have a baby, your weight goes all over the place, and I wanted to get my body back. So I was pushing really hard. And now I look back and I see so much of my life was pushing, pushing, driving, driving. And it's paid a toll. Like I paid the price
Sure.
because fast forward, my second son was born. He had a massive neonatal stroke at birth. Didn't plan on that happening, right?
Wow.
But it really awakened me to the gaps in healthcare, to the other side of healthcare. And it awakened me to my own kind of spiritual gifts that I, as a kid, was told, stop, that's just weird. People are going to think you're weird. Don't don't share that with people. So I learned science over spirit, right? Science over um, trusting my what I'm getting, right? And so that's why I went into nursing, and I have always used kind of that medical intuition that I had. I've always had hunches about people. I always saw things in people. I've always been drawn to energy, and I've always been drawn to certain areas of the body where I just could sense that something was off, but I never trusted it until my son. And so when my
Wow.
son was born, it almost was like an awakening for me.
Hmm.
And it really pivoted my path from that critical care nursing to learning about holistic nursing. I became Reiki certified because my girlfriend, who had been trying to teach me Reiki for the longest time, and I used to say, that's cute for you. But when you have a child that's struggling, there's nothing you won't do for them. And so I learned Reiki. I became a Reiki master. I learned about nutrition. I dove into nutrition. I became a personal trainer because I understood that my son, who didn't move his right side, was going to need movement. And so basically everything I was doing for my son, but I was also doing it for me.
Right.
So, I learned all this stuff. I learned mindfulness, and I learned about the brain and neurology because my son had a massive stroke, but also it was as he was growing, I recognized that not only did he have trouble moving the right side, but he also was having some cognitive and behavioral issues that went along with it. And so I really dove into the holistic aspect and learning as much as I could about prevention, about things that I can do to help maximize my son's neuroplasticity and maximize his well-being while helping myself maximize my own well-being. And fast forward a couple years later, same time I found out I was having my fourth son, I found out my third son had leukemia. And it was almost like the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, decided, okay, now practice everything you've learned. Now put it all together and practice everything you've learned. So my son still had the chemotherapy and, went the Western medicine route of getting treated, but I did Reiki on him every day. I knew enough about nutrition to really support his cells with good nutrients. I knew again, I was pregnant, so I knew about mindfulness because when you let yourself get too caught up ahead in the what ifs, it can be completely overwhelming. And I knew I literally had to take it one day at a time. I had to really be present in my life, not just for my sick child, but for my well children, and also for myself and this baby that was growing inside of me. So this is really what started my transformation because, and I wasn't done because as I was pushing and driving, and by the way, when my son had his when my son was diagnosed with leukemia, I had a business. I had Butterfly Family Wellness, where it was basically a gym. I would do classes and fitness classes for adults, for children, but I also did a lot of outreach stuff working with schools to help kids understand and integrate the power of good nutrition and movement and all of that. So I was trying to run a business, trying to run my family, try to keep my kids healthy and well, and my health started to suffer. And so I had all sorts of health issues, and I call it my 911 moment when I was reading to my two younger kids. My older kids were off at school, and I'm reading to my two younger kids, and I had migraine headaches. But so I knew I was having a migraine because I started to see pixels on the page. I started to drop my speech. And my husband, who's a surgeon, was doing pro bono 200 miles away, some work 200 miles away. So he called to just check in, and I couldn't form words. And he's like, Jen, what's going on? And then my tongue went numb, and my entire right arm went completely numb. And I told him this, and he said, you've got to call 911. You're having a stroke. And I thought, I'm not having, I'm fine. I'm fine, right? We all were, I was a master at the mask of I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Right?
And so I
Mm.
said, I don't have time to call 911. Who's going to watch the kids? I got to pick up the boys at school. And of course, I've got play dates and all that coming over. And that experience really taught me, girl, you better put yourself on the map. You better start taking care of yourself if you want to keep being here, taking care of everybody else.
So, folks, this episode is sponsored by the Running Strong Mind Body Connection. It's brought to you by Karen Banana Traj, your mental fitness powerhouse speaker and fierce founder of the Mental Fitness Edge. So, let's be real. Mental resilience isn't a nice to have, it's your secret weapon. Karen helps bold leaders, high achievers, and purpose driven pros ditch burnout and survival mode for calm, clarity, and unshakable confidence. Curious what's sabotaging your success? So snag Karen's free gift on her website, themindfulathletecoach.com, and uncover the hidden mental gremlins holding you back. So once you face those inner critics, step into her Mental Fitness Edge bootcamp and rewire your brain for lasting energy, laser focus, and rock solid self belief. Because Karen says strong minds don't just build strong lives. So, welcome back, Jennifer. You have an amazing story, and I love your 911. Oh my God, you are just a powerhouse of a woman. And I know we have a lot to resonate with. So, let's get back into diving in the importance of taking care of ourselves.
Yes.
And I want to say too is that moms, we don't,
No.
because you hit it on the nose of we have to take care of our kids. Our kids come first.
Right.
Our family comes first. And then, we're over there someplace else.
Yeah.
But what a great awakening. So, hey, let's
Yeah.
jump back in taking care of yourself.
Yeah, no, I just realized just because my health was suffering, and I realized that I was burning out in a way because I was showing up for everyone else and
Yep.
doing everything. And as I mentioned, I had this mask of I'm fine, it's fine because I identified as a strong and independent woman. I can do it. I got it. I don't need help. And I I realized that there was a price to pay for that. And the price that I was paying was my own health and well-being. And let's face it, many of your listeners can probably relate. When you get in that grind, in that doing, in that intensity of your life, which let's face it, sometimes our life is intense, but we have to take moments to pause, to reset, and to connect with ourselves to figure out, okay, what am I doing? Like, what's important? Why am I My girlfriend used to say to me, you're running around like a chicken with its head cut off, or like your butt's on fire, and there is no fire, right? Because
Right.
I had this image of what I wanted for my life, as I had mentioned in the very beginning.
Right.
And I was trying to uphold this expectation and this image that I put on myself,
Right.
but also that society can put on women to do it all, be it all, have it all. And it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable if you don't take breaks and give yourself permission to pause and reset your nervous system, because I was in survival mode,
Yep.
and you can't thrive in survival mode. It's not meant to be sustained.
Right. I love the fact that you have that science behind you and the holistic behind you.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what has been down my path of my journey is, I mean, we have Dr. Deepak, Dr. Joe
Yeah.
Dispenza. We have a few other uh, doctors that have turned holistic,
Yeah.
medical people that have turned
Oh, yeah.
holistic. And it's been proven in the medical world, the holistic world.
And let me just say, because I teach a course called Holistic and Complementary Approaches to Health and Healing in a nursing school. And let me
Nice.
just say, and I am a testament to this, holistic doesn't mean not without the support of medicine. right?
I agree with that. I agree with that. But I like the blend of that.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
blend,
Absolutely.
perfect. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And
because it's the lifestyle, it's the empowerment of like, what can I do to support my health and well-being? What
right,
choices? It's all about choices, isn't it?
right, right, exactly. And you have, and that's one thing I know for myself too. And people who listen to this, think about this. When you were a kid, you had this knowing. You had this knowing about yourself. If that is your intuition, that is your soul speaking, that is your inner self speaking to you.
Hmm.
And you had parents that told you, don't do that. Well, I had parents that shunned me along and, you stay quiet and we bury that within ourselves.
Yes.
I hope not to be off course here, but things happen in our life for a reason.
Oh, I agree.
And
100% agree.
your first son was there for a reason and it was still your own awakening and you took some path to that and then the next one and then it is like okay, the universe is saying, okay, Jen, now it's your turn. Come
Well,
on.
you know what I feel like? I feel like it's the way that we get nudged along our path because
You're
sometimes
right. That's a great, yeah,
we get so attached to, I want to go this way. I
right,
want to do this. And whether it's because society, because it's something sexy that's making it look like that life is so great, or it's society telling us something, or maybe it's our family. I call them belief systems. I do a lot of work on this in my coaching is what are the belief systems that are driving behavior? Like for me, my belief system was that I wasn't enough. So I was getting one more certification, one more degree, and doing one more thing to prove that I was enough. And it's recognizing first that that's what's driving the behavior
right,
and saying to yourself, wait a minute, I am enough.
right.
Don't need to prove anything to anybody. And that's what I feel like sometimes when we are going down the wrong path or we're kind of going down the rabbit hole, right?
Right,
The universe gives us a little nudge to go, nope, that's not your path.
right.
And it's like a little nudge to get you back on track. That's what I believe my kids' illnesses what were for me
Yeah.
is that nudge to be like, nope, wrong way. Administration's not your thing, honey.
Well, I know many times in my life, it's like I've been so headstrong because I'm pretty headstrong. I'm pretty driven. I'm pretty, I'm going to go this, and this just from
Yeah.
everything I do in life and my kids and whatnot. But I can look back on places where, oh my gosh, my inner gut said, no, don't do that. But then this is going,
Yeah.
bam, we're doing that. And it was
The
right.
battle, yeah, it's the battle between the ego and the soul.
Right. The soul is always right. Always.
Always right. It always has your best interest at heart.
Yep, it does. And it's not that, and so our ego gets into there and we are headstrong and we're driven and we're hyperachievers and we keep, climbing that ladder and whatever that is. But what I believe too is the universe is just sitting there going, okay, when's my moment? I'm going to wake them up. When's that moment they're going to finally listen to me? Because I'm going to give them this clue right now. I'm going to give them this hint right now. Is that going to wake them up? Nope, not yet. So I'll give them another one.
Mhm. Exactly. I like to say it comes in threes sometimes. It's like, oh, really? Like I jokingly say my oldest was like the perfect child, and I thought this is the way you do things, right? And then my second came along, and it was almost like the universe went, really? You think so?
Do you want to rethink that, girl?
Exactly. Let me just shake things up a little bit. Yeah.
So, how old are your kids now?
So my oldest is 26, then 23, 20, and 17.
Wow. And how's the 20-year-old?
My 20-year-old is the one who had leukemia.
Yeah.
We're having a little bit of a challenge right now. He health wise, as far as leukemia, he's fine, but he just had a seizure out of the blue. And so we're navigating that. And interestingly enough, we just talked about this because it's very easy to get caught into that victim mentality. He said to me, Mom, first I had cancer, now I have seizures. Like, what's going on? Why is this happening to me? And I said, well, we can get caught in the victim mentality, but that's not
Right.
going to help us.
Right.
He's pre-med. He's pre-med. And I
Wow.
said, maybe the universe is trying to show you alternative ways of health and healing. It's trying to show you the lifestyle component because you're stressed out of your mind. He's at school, he's taking hard classes,
Oh, for
puts a
sure.
lot of
Yeah.
demands on himself, right? So I said, this is your, and I really believe that our emotions, whatever sensations we're having. Um, it's information. It is
Right.
our mind, body, soul giving us information
Yep.
and telling us something's out of balance or, hey, this needs a little attention. So that's, but thank you for asking. He's gonna be okay. I believe it in my heart and soul. And he's got me for a mom. So I gotta
I was just thinking that. Yes, all your experiences and wisdom as his mom.
yeah, yeah. Well, and that's what I said. I said, this is hard right now, but you're not alone. Got your back. We're gonna get through this. So yeah.
So, what's your ABCs of stress management?
Yes. Well, as a nurse, I don't know if any nurses are listening, but in nursing, we have the ABCs, which are the life-saving, the assessment that we do. It's
Okay.
at airway, breathing, and circulation.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I took that, and of course, I like to flip that around. And now, as a stress and resiliency coach, the A is awareness.
Yep.
That's the first step. You have to be aware
Yep.
of how you're feeling or when you are stressed. A lot of people have been living for so long in that stress overwhelm space, in
Yep.
that survival space that they don't even recognize this isn't normal. I
Right.
don't need to be, like how many of you right now listening can notice maybe tension in your shoulders where your shoulders are coming up or
Right.
tension in your where you're making a fist. Many of us don't even realize that. So the awareness piece is first and foremost, be aware of what are you feeling right now? What sensation are you feeling? What are you feeling in your body? What are you carrying in your body? What is triggering you? Like, what are you upset over? What are you getting spun up about? That's the self-awareness piece, which is crucial before you can start the second piece, which is balance. Balance your mindset, but balance your body. And you do that through breathing. Your breath is your number one tool for self-regulation. So many people feel powerless, like this is happening to me. But what people don't realize is you can control your heart rate. You can control the tension in your body. You can calm your nervous system down. And research has shown it takes 2 minutes of slow, deep breathing to reset your nervous system and elicit the relaxation response. So the B is balance your mind and your body. And you, like I said, you do that with your breathing and with your checking in with yourself, what am I getting triggered about right now? What's going on?
Right.
This mine? Is this not mine? Like, is this something to get upset about?
Right.
Like, where's the fire? Is there really a fire? Probably not, right?
Right.
And then the C is connection. Connect to what are you in control over?
Mm.
Because many of us think we're in control over things that we don't have control over. So connect to what can you control in this moment? Connect with yourself, your body. I like to put my hand on my heart and my hand on my belly just to bring this swirling energy from my head, drop it into my body. So connect to yourself, connect to your choices. What are my choices in this moment? What can I do? What can I control in this moment for my greatest good? So that is my very simplified. I dive deeper in my programs to go on. It's like peeling an onion, right? The first surface
Right.
is like, all right, what am I feeling? Then breathing, balancing your body. But those are my ABCs of stress
I
management.
love that. And it's just exactly same form, no matter what. Awareness is the key. And when
Absolutely.
in my world, in my speaking, is awareness is that the key to your transformation. It's the required first step.
Absolutely. You
And
cannot
I
do
love
this
your
alone.
analogy of the tension because we are, and I'm sure you were there too. I was there. We're so tense because we're on the go, 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 go,
Yeah.
go that we're not even aware of what's going on in our body. And
Well,
I do that a lot with my clients. It's just, can you just pay attention to your body? Feel your body sitting on that chair. How many
right.
times do you pay attention to feeling the body?
Yes. Yes.
Just feel the feet on the ground and feel that connection.
Well, I think about it like, for example, I just played tennis and I had a tennis match, and I think the ready position, right? And you're
Yeah,
supposed to be tense but ready and on the balls of your feet, ready to spring into action, right?
right.
And so many women, especially when you've had something happen where you've had to face challenges, you're in that readiness position all the
All
time.
the time.
And that's the thing is think about the tension in your body. And then
Right.
people wonder, why am I so exhausted all the time?
Right.
Uh, I couldn't be in that readiness position, ready to pounce on the balls of my feet for an hour and a half. No.
Well,
So,
that's a very true statement too, because it's the same thing as having that, being in that constant amygdala hijack.
yes,
And we stay in that mode. And you mentioned this a couple times already of the stress that we're putting on our bodies. That's where the disease comes in our body.
absolutely.
I've
Well,
seen
and our
people who've been
emotions.
on angry through, I saw a man who was angry through, hated his job for 40 years. The
Mm,
only reason why he worked was to have that retirement. When he retired, he was
yeah.
dead in 5 years.
There are so many people like that. There are
I
so
know.
many people that are living paycheck to paycheck and just living for the next thing
Yeah,
instead of living in the moment. And
right.
that's one of the things that my situation with my kids taught me is the next moment's never guaranteed. So
Exactly.
you have to live your life now. And when I was finding like, oh man, I'm not happy. Like
Right.
I'm not happy. And this is the awareness piece, is that radical self-awareness where I feel like so many people feel certain emotions, and this also creates disease. We shove those emotions down. We don't allow ourselves to feel what we feel. Or we feel an emotion, we attach a story to that emotion, like
Yeah.
my son, why is this happening to me all the time? And then we give it a nice cozy home in our head to hang out there.
I
Instead
like
of letting
that.
that emotion,
Yeah.
like, you know what? Yeah, it's hard right now. This is hard right now. And yeah, things have happened to me, but you have to just notice what you're feeling. Allow yourself to feel what you feel, but let that feeling move through you. Because
Yeah.
when we shove that emotion down, run away and distract from that emotion by not dealing with it, that we get disease in the body. There's a great book called Molecules of Emotion that Candace Pert wrote.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a beautiful book that shows what repressed emotions does to the cell signaling and to the neurotransmitters in the body
Yep.
that can create disease in the body.
Yeah. We don't, just because you don't want to pay attention to that emotion doesn't mean it's gone.
You
And
store it,
it is.
somewhere.
We're shoving that back down into it. The other thing that I find a lot with my clients is they don't know the language of emotions.
No.
They don't know the language of emotions. All we know is we're upset, we're angry, but there's so many different words that go with that. And the other thing that has been part of my practice and what I teach is that we're human. And that's the beauty of us,
Hmm.
that we do have emotions, and emotions are beautiful. Now, we can cry our heart out, that's beautiful, or we can laugh our heart out, that's beautiful. The
They're
fact
both
is
beautiful.
that
Yeah.
be in the emotion and honor those emotions and don't use them to harm anybody else.
Well, and I would also say be careful of attaching judgments on the emotions. Like this is a good
Yeah,
emotion, this is a bad emotion, because
right.
that's what makes us resist it. And I mean, I know a lot of people, and I exercised a lot, and exercise is my stress release. What I didn't realize was that when I was exhausted and I was pushing my body really hard, that become came another hidden stressor in my life.
Sure,
Sometimes I was doing that and running or doing the intense workout so I didn't feel what I was feeling.
sure. Awareness,
Yes, yes.
radical
Number
awareness.
one.
Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, sure.
I appreciate all your amazing knowledge. And one last bit of advice. What would be your strongest bit of advice you'd like to leave our listeners?
I would say when you are finding yourself in a place where you're either not happy or you're restless or you're feeling off, give yourself permission to just pause,
Hmm.
get still, and check in with yourself. And in
Yeah.
a very compassionate way, just ask, what are you trying to tell me? What's my soul, my body, my mind, my soul trying to tell me? What do I need in this moment? What's out of balance? But you got to give yourself permission to get still for a moment, which is scary for a lot of people. but it is where true transformation and empowerment happen.
Exactly. Thank you very much. There you go, folks. What an amazing guest, Jennifer Tolo. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.